Welcome everyone once again to another edition of the Foolish Fish Esoteric News with your weekly updates on the worlds of esoteric and occult book publishing and arts and events and paraphernalia. I've got so much great news for you this week, folks, but we're starting off just by thanking Miskatonic Books for your sponsorship. Miskatonic Books, #1 international purveyor of esoteric and occult books. Yes, in the world, if you're looking for difficult to find occult books or difficult to find esoteric books, books that maybe have been out of print for a long time, or books that are difficult to find within the US because they've been published abroad and they cost a lot of money to import into the US, then yes, Miskatonic Books is definitely the first place to look. Also, if there's a book that they don't have, you can put in a request to keep you informed when they get that book back in stock. So a really nice opportunity. I'm starting off with actually some news from Miskatonic Books, and well, you know from last week already that the Goddess Seals are shipping. Those of you who ordered the standard edition of the Goddess Seals, those are shipping. I think that the special editions will follow very soon, but my specific news concerns Gateways Through Stone and Circle. Now, I announced this a couple of months ago, actually. I think it probably is by now. Miskatonic Books announced that they were going to do a 10-year anniversary edition of Gateways Through Stone and Circles by Frater Ashen Shasan, like a seminal work on Trithemius's work of drawing spirits into crystal, and absolutely fantastic. And many people were very upset, and rightly so, I think, about the fact that the angels depicted in the advertising here certainly show some sign of having been generated through artificial intelligence, and therefore, you know, based on stolen work, which is ethically problematic, but also just disappointing for people who see some great artwork and go, oh, isn't that beautiful, somebody's put so much effort into this, you know, so somebody has really appreciated the human form and so on and so forth, and then you realize, oh yeah, okay, somebody has, but not the person who's created this, just the artist on which the artificial intelligence based this material. So yeah, I find it disappointing every time I find a beautiful picture that turns out to be artificial intelligence. And I made this little poll that over 1,000 of you responded, and thank you so much for that. And I pointed out the dilemma that some smaller publishers have. You know, we're not talking about Routledge here. We're not talking about HarperCollins or anything. We're talking about the kinds of small independent publishers who actually publish occult books, right? And some of those can afford to pay for the text, or they can afford to pay for art, but they can't necessarily break even if they're paying for both. And I asked the question, you know, is it actually worth putting AI art, which is so problematic? Is it worth putting AI art in, or is it better to put in no art at all? And yes, 70% of you, which to be honest with you, I'm not that surprised. 70% of you have said that you'd prefer to see no art at all. It's certainly my opinion. It certainly would be my preference. And I got this lovely message from the owner of Miskatonic Books, saying that that he's been in discussions with the author, and they've come to a mutual agreement that there should be no artificial intelligence art inside the book, but instead of having no art, instead they're actually going to be employing an artist to create art throughout the book. So that's really very exciting news, and really makes me so happy that Miskatonic Books are the sponsor of the news segment on my channel. It makes me just super proud. I really like that this has happened, and thank you so much, Larry, for the efforts that you put into making this happen. I and the whole of the community really appreciate it. That's really very good stuff. Good. Let's see. We've got news, of course, from Anathema Publishing, the Semesilam Kickstarter, alongside the paperback of Iao. Now has a Kickstarter page, and you can go ahead there. And I've done this already. When you go over there, if you haven't done it already, you'll see like a big green button here saying notify me, something along those lines. And you'll simply receive an email once the Semesilam Kickstarter actually starts. But I wanted to show you this, folks. This is a post that Anathema posted on Instagram just a couple of days ago, giving us just a little bit of insight into what the contents of Semesilam is going to be like. And this, of course, is the inside of the paperback of Iao, just to whet our appetite. And I think that that looks really very cool indeed. There we go. Yeah, I think you can pretty much pause on any of these and just enjoy how utterly gorgeous that is going to be. I'm very excited, if you couldn't tell. Good. News from Embassy of the Free Mind, the silent language. Is a new ebook that has just been released in English. Now, Adam McLean is appreciated, I believe, appreciated in the entire occult community. Certainly, I've appreciated everything that I've ever seen from Adam McLean, and he's made this ebook for the Embassy of the Free Mind, the Hermetic Museum in the center of Amsterdam, and it's available 45 Polish zlotys. That's around $10, I guess. It's a $10-11 mark, I suppose. And yes, so let's see. It's a catalogue of an exhibition held at the BPH is the I can't remember what their what their official name is, on the occasion of the two summer courses offered by Amsterdam University in the summer of 1994, Gnosis and Hermeticism from Antiquity to Modern Times, and Symbolism in Art, in search of a definition. Adam McLean of the renowned Alchemy website explored in this exhibition the wealth of symbolical material in alchemical works by placing key items from the collection in a historical perspective. Alchemical images discussed by Adam McLean include runaway bestsellers like the Rosarium Philosophorum, the Amphitheatrum Sapientiae Aeternae, and Mayer's Atlanta Fugiens, but also less well-known or surprising works such as Coenda van Helpen's Escalier des Sages or Suso's Das Buch genannt Susa. The catalogue has long been out of print and is now offered as an ebook for the first time. Very cool. I remember when this was available on the website, at least appeared to be available, and I tried to purchase it, and yeah, it just it was like, yeah, sorry, you can't buy this anymore. But it's really nice to see so many of their books actually being offered as ebooks. In fact, there's Divine Wisdom, Divine Nature, which has been, you know, just quite an expensive book, and quite an important one, available at very high prices. Again, now available as an ebook. The Hermetic Gnosis, also available as an ebook. I'll let you browse through those books that are available directly through the Embassy of the Free Mind. Very good stuff. Okay, the complete initiation rituals of the Golden Dawn. Cherubim Press did this, was it a year ago or a year and a bit ago? They released the Flying Scrolls, right? So the Flying Scrolls were documents that were shared among Golden Dawn initiates, basically taking the material of the Golden Dawn to a further step, maybe a more practical step, and so on, right? And this complete initiation rituals of the Golden Dawn, again, we're seeing Frater Yehida getting hold of just documents that have not been so widely available, and making them available to us. The hardcover of the Flying Scrolls sold out in a day because they made 100 copies. Well, they decided that if that one did so well, then they're gonna print more this time, and so they went ahead and printed a full 120 copies. Well, guess what? It surprisingly sold out even faster than the first edition, the first book, excuse me, in this series. I'm sorry, I only make these videos once a week, and this one sold out last Friday, right? I put out a notice within the Foolish Fish Discord, of course, so every member who's on Foolish Fish Discord got to see that, and I also put out a notice on Facebook, on my Foolish Fish account on Facebook. Hopefully hopefully many of you who would have wanted a hardcover edition of the Complete Initiation Rituals managed to see that in time. However, the good news is that for those of you who didn't get to see it in time, just like with the Flying Scrolls, this will also get an unlimited paperback edition. So yeah, even today, if you go onto Amazon and search for the Flying Scrolls, you'll be able to find a paperback edition. So it's not like you can't get access to the information. It's just the fancy hardcover book, which is 120 copies. It seems very little, but on the other hand, you know, just as I was saying in the comments of a recent video, when it's very small independent companies publishing these books, they print as many as they can afford to make, right? As many as they have enough money for, because they have to pay for these books to be printed first, and then of course they get the money later on, right? When people actually buy the books from them. And yeah, still 120 books doesn't seem like very many. All right. Oh yes, so this was quite cool. And I told you about this particular one, A Guide to the Elementals, a magical study series. This is the volume 1 of a magical study series. Told you about this, when it came out, and I can't actually remember when it came out, but publication date 31st of March 2023. Okay, so that should be probably our clue. Well, there's a second book in this series. The second book has just been released. It's a guide to Sphere Kabbalah. Actually, it's the first time I've seen Kabbalah being spelt like this. I think that the double B AH is, I'm used to seeing that with a K, and when there's a Q, I'm definitely not used to seeing a Q. But ultimately, it doesn't matter because it's all transliteration. Like an adaptation of the Hebrew. So yeah, that to say that there is a proper spelling, of course, that makes no sense. But I suppose there is a traditional spelling, possibly. But the contents looks really interesting. It looks very cool. You can actually scroll through just a preview of the contents here. And yes, André Consciencia seems to have just prepared something quite lovely for us here. It's full color, as you can see, and very beautifully presented. I'm kind of curious. I think that this is it's going to be quite cool. Falcon Books actually have quite a few pretty interesting looking books in their catalogue already. You can, by the way, get these as ebooks. I know that you can get the first one as an ebook, and the second one is here. I don't see a price for it though. Maybe it's I don't know. What if I hit buy product here? What's going to happen? Oh, okay, sends me to Amazon, where the price is okay, $20.99. That makes sense. That makes good sense. Cool. Very, very nice. Yes, so I'll let you have a browse around Falcon Books Publishing's website. You might find some things that catch your eye. Yeah, 3 pages worth of books there. Very, very nice. Okay, this is I'm very excited about this one. So you probably, I expect you remember Le Pater, the beautiful book from Century Guild that Thomas Negavan so kindly sent to me, and I did a full video on it, and it's, yeah, to this day it's one of my most beautiful books on my shelves. I regularly weigh up Le Pater with the what do you call it, the artisanal edition of Iao, and I can never make up my mind which one I prefer out of these 2 beautiful, beautiful books. Well, Century Guild have got a new book out on Kickstarter, and it's a bestiary, or a bestiary of mystical creatures, magical and mundane creatures, by Professor Anton Seder. Yeah, if you just scroll down and have a look at what we're talking about here, it's just beautiful. So the book itself, you know, if it's anywhere near the quality of Le Pater, and they're actually saying that it's going to be even more beautiful, which boggles the mind. Yeah, it's going to be a lovely edition. I've no question about that. But what about the contents? And the contents just looks gorgeous. So the idea is that it's a bestiary of all animals, whether real or imaginary, and that's quite a wonderful idea, isn't it? So it's all in this Art Nouveau style, not just style, but actually the book was designed between 1893 and 1899. So, you know, when Art Nouveau was in full swing, and you'll be able to see this very, very cool looking art. Some of it really reminds me of William Morris, the backgrounds here, and I just think it's just gorgeous. Really, really wonderful stuff. Yeah, for those of us who are looking for some beautiful books. Oh yes, and that's right. They there's one of the tiers that does the BPAL. BPAL is Black Phoenix Alchemy Lab. Now, Black Phoenix Alchemy Lab do perfumes for Sphere and Sundry. I've just realised, have I just skipped the Sphere and Sundry section? I wanted to talk about Sphere and Sundry. This is good. This is just reminding me. I'll just need to do a quick search for you guys. But yes, BPAL do really gorgeous perfumes. Sphere and Sundry actually turned these perfumes into talismans. I don't know if that's what's happened here, but it's very, very lovely perfume. I can actually attest to how delicate and good these perfumes in fact are. There we are. Yeah, so anyway, I recommend going to check it out. There's also a slipcase edition, or here's a picture of Le Pater that I was telling you about, the original edition, and then the I think it's the paperback. Yes, the hardcover and paperback editions. There we go. But yeah, there's a slipcase edition as well. Let me see if I can find that for you guys. Where is it? Where is it? Here it. No. Yes, here it is. That's what the slipcase is actually going to look like. So yes, very, very cool stuff. First of all, I want to talk about a couple books that I found on Amazon. Don't Forget to Live, Goethe and the Tradition of Spiritual Exercises, the France Chicago collection. This is a book that came out last year, but I completely missed it. So in his final book, renowned philosopher Pierre Hadot explores Goethe's relationship with ancient spiritual exercises, transformative acts of intellect, excuse me, imagination or will. Goethe sought both an intensive experience of the present moment as well as a kind of cosmic consciousness, both of which are rooted in ancient philosophical practices. These practices shaped Goethe's audacious contrast to the traditional maxim memento mori, don't forget that you will die, with the aim of transforming our ordinary consciousness. Ultimately, Hadot reveals how Goethe cultivated a deep love for life that brings to the forefront a new maxim: don't forget to live. That sounds really cool, doesn't it? Yeah, focused on these spiritual exercises of Goethe. Sounds really exciting, sounds really intriguing, sounds like something that I'd like to find out more about, but there aren't any reviews. Sounds like someone's going to have to get onto the case, you know. Yeah, so that looks cool. Another one that looks quite cool is Witchcraft. Let me turn this off. Oh my goodness, I'm not doing too well today, am I, folks? Witchcraft, A History in 13 Trials. So this is just came out a couple of weeks ago. A thought-provoking and timely global history of witch trials across Europe, Africa and the Americas, told through 13 distinct trials that illuminate a pattern of demonization and conspiratorial thinking that has profoundly shaped human history. So yeah, if you're interested in the history of the anti-witch attitude in the world, then yeah, this could be one to explore. It looks very, very interesting. This one does have some reviews, got 29 ratings in fact, and it's worth going to check out what they are in fact saying. Sounds quite cool, interesting, though often tragic. That's probably goes without saying, right? Okay. Now, let me show you this, folks. This Thema Mundi is in its final week of pre-orders. So this launched some time ago, yeah, May 23rd, 2023. And they're doing a second round of orders. So if you wanted to get any of the Thema Mundi, I'm having problems with my internet, come on. So Thema Mundi is essentially the birth chart of the universe. That's the idea, with each of the various, I think it's each of the planets in their optimal house. And let me just turn this off. Here we go. You've got a full description of actually what's going on over here. And if you wish, or is it still going? Oh dear, I'm going to get demonetized, aren't I? We can't have this. Where's this music coming from? Oh, please. All right, never mind. Yeah, just to give you an idea, I'll close this so I don't get demonetized. The concept of Thema Mundi or Thema Mundi is that it is yeah, all the planets in their right places, and therefore it's perfect for everything. Right. I'll leave links down in the description so you can read the full write-up. Always a delight. Yeah, and you can put in your orders, but you need to be quite quick. The final orders, the final pre-orders, should I say, stop on Tuesday, 13th of February. That's when the pre-orders will actually end. There we go. Okay, and then finally, this final item that I wanted to point you guys towards is an article that has resurfaced, or should I say surfaced, because it's an article by Jake Stratton-Kent that has never been published and is now available on occultstudy.com. So yeah, the full article about animal symbolism by the late Jake Stratton Kent, whom we all miss terribly, and it's just a lovely read, and I recommend going to check it out. If you're interested in any of the things that Jake was interested in, from the PGM to what do we have here? Well, I had a couple of things in my mind when I started that sentence. As I say, I'm a little bit all over the place, aren't I? Yes, Cyprianic work and the likes. There we go. I recommend reading the whole thing. It's a real joy. There we go. That's what I have for you this week, folks. I'm sorry that was a little bit chaotic. I suppose, yes, I'm 6 weeks into being away from my books, and I miss them terribly. And 6 more weeks to go. So we're halfway through, and I really hope that what I'm doing is enough. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope that you are enjoying the content. If you do enjoy the content, you'd like to support the channel, then yes, the Patreon really is the best way to support me. If you'd like to have a one-to-one conversation with me, if you'd like to have a tarot reading, or if you'd like to ask me some questions about your particular spiritual path and or practice, and you'd like some recommendations in terms of books or in terms of practices and so on, then yes, links for one-to-one video conversations with me, they're available down in the description. There we go, folks. I'll leave you with that. Thank you ever so much once again for watching. Take care of yourselves and of each other. I'll see you very soon with another video. Bye bye.